So bro, the hero of this story is Ranero. This guy looks so terrifying that anyone who sees him literally shakes in fear. Guys literally wet themselves just by looking at him. One day he was going to school and people on the street were running away scared as he passed. Then he saw some of his school friends who were caught up in a fight. The thugs were picking on his friends on purpose because they wanted to face Ranero. They asked, "Hey, where's that scary guy from your class?" His friends, acting cool, said, "Don't worry bro, he's coming." And as soon as Ranero appeared, the thugs literally ran away at the sight of him. After that, Ranero told his friends, "Why do you guys keep getting into fights?" But his friends shot back, "It's all because of you. You hit someone and that's why they're after us." Ranero was puzzled because he couldn't remember doing anything. Then he remembered the scene from the previous night when he had seen a couple arguing. The girl slapped the guy and walked away. Feeling sympathetic, Ranero approached the guy, but the moment the guy saw Ranero's face, he screamed and ran away. His friends laughed and said, "Obviously, bro, if you show up at night looking like a ghost, anyone would be scared." Here's the twist. The boys and girls' colleges were separate, but right next to each other, and there was so much hatred between them. One day, the boys' group was walking to school, and the girls' group came from the opposite direction. A girl dropped her handkerchief, and a boy bent down to pick it up. But the girl angrily said, "Did your hand just touch it? I won't take it," and walked away, insulting him. The boys got mad and said, "These girls would never change." The girls' school was super fancy, full of rich kids, while the boys' school was more like a typical public school. So the girls looked down on them. The boys got frustrated because they weren't that bad, but the girls treated them like trash. The girls' school even had curtains so the boys couldn't see inside. That's how much hatred there was. Later, the boys planned to go hang out, but Ranero refused because he had to get home early. When he got home, his mom scolded him. "Why are you late?" Ranero made an excuse about school being far and the rain, then said that his work was useless anyway, since no one came to the bakery because of his face. His mom reassured him, saying it was fine, there was only one customer and he could handle it. Ranero put on his bakery outfit and explained that his family ran a bakery, and when there was a staff shortage, he had to help. He had never told his friends about this. He remembered his mom saying there was only one customer, and when he looked around, he saw a girl sitting at a table with plate after plate of food. He was stunned, wondering how such a small girl could eat so much. The scene played out with Ranero and the girl, Vagori, sitting across from each other. The girl looked at him, and when their eyes met, she panicked and choked on her cake. Ranero immediately brought her water and thought to himself, "How can such a small girl eat so much cake? She must be in middle school." The girl quickly thanked him and ran off. Ranero thought she might have been scared by his face, but his mom explained, "Don't assume everyone is the same. She isn't judging you, and if she doesn't come back, I'll personally bring her here." The next day in class, Ranero kept thinking about the girl. He thought, if I see her in middle school, I'll apologize. But then his friends called him to eat, and he went along with them. One boy said, "You know, Ranero stays away from people on purpose. He thinks he isn't a good person, so he keeps everyone at a distance." In the evening, Ranero's mom told him that Vagori wanted to meet him. He was a little surprised but agreed. As soon as they sat together, Ranero was about to apologize, but Vagori said, "Let's eat first." They sat at the table and Ranero thought, "She wants to treat me right here in my own shop." Vaguri smiled and said, "Sorry I ran off yesterday without saying anything. Today I want to give you cake." Ranero jokingly said, "Go ahead, I eat it every day." They teased each other a little and then started eating the cake. Vaguri said, "Yesterday seeing so much cake in front of you must have felt really weird." Ranero outwardly said no, but inside he was thinking yes. Vaguri laughed and added, "It was raining yesterday, so I thought I'd eat a few extra pieces." They both laughed. Gradually, their conversation got deeper, names were exchanged, and Ranero thought, "She's the first person to come to me on her own and not be scared, besides my mom." Then Vaguri said, "To be honest, I didn't run away when I saw you yesterday. And it's not like it was the first time in your shop. You helped me many times, but maybe you never noticed." Ranero was shocked. "Then why did you run yesterday?" At that moment, a woman in the shop said, "Kids, speak a little softer." Vaguri giggled and explained, "Actually, it was the first time a guy stared at me for so long and I got embarrassed, so I ran." Raniro was stunned. Until now, people ran away scared when they saw him, but this was the first girl who ran out of shyness. Their eyes met again and both of them blushed. After a while, Raniro said, "It's late, I'll take you to the station." But Vaguri replied, "First, I need to place a cake order." After ordering, as she got ready to leave, Ranero asked, "You're going alone? It's late and the station is far." Vaguri smiled and said, "Don't worry. And please don't think I ran away because I was scared of you. Honestly, I wasn't scared at all. On the contrary, thank you for being so kind."
After that, Wagori left, and Raniero felt extremely happy inside. When he went to his room, for the first time, his face literally turned red with embarrassment. He thought, all my life, people have rejected me. But today, for the first time, a girl talked to me nicely. And that girl is Wagori. He remembered her saying her heartbeat raced when he looked at her, and that thought alone made him blush. Then his mom came in and said, "Wagori said she forgot something. She probably hasn't gone far. Go check on her quickly." Raniero ran outside, but the scene was chaotic. Two boys were teasing Wagori, saying, "You're so cute, small but full of cuteness. Come have some fun with us." Raniero was rushing to find her when he noticed those same boys, the ones who had harassed his friends in the morning. They were now taunting Wagori. "What are you doing with a guy like Raniero? He can't be your boyfriend. Stay away or you'll get in trouble too." Raniero's heart raced. He wanted to help, but also feared that Wagori might judge him as a useless, ugly, low-class guy. Then Wagori spoke, "You two are worthless. Stop judging based on what others say. If you talk to him, you'll see what a good person he is." Hearing this, the boys got furious. One of them raised his hand to hit Wagori, but Raniero arrived just in time and the punch hit him instead. His head hit the wall, causing a little blood to come out. Raniero, angry, shouted, "What exactly did you plan to do with her?" His terrifying look scared the boys and they ran away immediately. Wagori, scared, apologized. "It's all my fault. Please forgive me." Raniero said, "You don't need to apologize. Their punch didn't even hit me. It was the wall." Then he laughed. "Maybe that was my punishment." Wagori was surprised. "What do you mean?" Raniero quietly said, "Yes, I could have avoided it, but I didn't trust you at first. I thought you'd be like the others who judge me badly, but you weren't. Sorry." Wagori immediately interrupted. "No, it's not your fault. You don't need to say sorry." She gently cleaned his head and smiled. "I don't understand why everyone's so scared of you. You're such a good person. Thank you for saving me." At that moment, Wagori looked so cute that Raniero thought, "Man, I've been stupid all this time. Because of what others think, I pushed myself away. But today, for the first time, someone genuinely thanked me. Honestly, I want to hear this over and over again." Then Raniero went to take her to the station. On the way, they talked a little more, and finally, Wagori smiled and said, "Next time I come to your shop, we'll eat cake together." Raniero's heart started racing again. The next day in class, it was obvious that Raniero hadn't slept a wink all night. He couldn't stop thinking about Wagori. Sitting in class, he glanced toward the girls' college across the street. As always, there were curtains, but suddenly he noticed one being drawn open, and the girl opening it was Wagori. Their eyes met again, and both of them froze in shock. Realizing what was happening, Raniero quickly dropped the curtain on his side of the classroom, and at that moment it hit him. Oh, Wagori isn't in middle school. She goes to the girls' college. Raniero was completely lost in thought, overthinking as usual. He couldn't stop thinking about how weirdly the girls had been staring at him on his way home from school. His friends arrived and started gossiping about the girls' school. Osami, literally the worst guy, was exaggerating everything and mocking them. But Raniero's mind was still stuck on Wagori, thinking, "I've overthought everything about her too much." Then Osami asked, "Hey, what's wrong? You act so weird whenever you see Kyo High girls." Raniero, a little shocked, replied, "Are you crazy? Why would I react like that?" The whole class noticed, and his friend said, "Bro, you totally overreacted." Meanwhile, the teacher kept teaching, but Raniero's mind was still on Wagori, worrying she might never come to the restaurant again. She knew his true identity, and if others found out, they might think the wrong things. Later, Osami said, "You're free today, right? Let's hang out." Raniero replied, "Yeah, I'm completely free today." His friends were literally shocked. They all went outside and noticed everyone looking in the same direction. Wagori was waiting for someone near the boys' school. Raniero was completely shocked. The other boys wondered why the Kyo High girls were hanging out near their school. Raniero kept thinking, who is she here to meet? Osami shouted at Wagori, "How dare you come in front of our school?" She got scared, and Osami tried to intimidate her further, but Raniero arrived, raised his voice and said, "Hey, behave respectfully with girls." Then he apologized to Wagori. She replied, "No need to apologize." Osami started crying. "Forgive me, I shouted too much." At that moment, the other Kyo High girls arrived, all shocked by the scene. They took Wagori away, and Osami angrily muttered that she should have made him apologize first. The girls pushed him firmly, giving off full-on South Indian movie gangster vibes. Wagori still looked at Raniero as the boys slowly walked away. Osami was furious, and Raniero kept thinking, what just happened? Did Wagori actually come to see me? Raniero realized he was overthinking everything again. Then Osami glanced at him and said in surprise, "Bro, your face looks so weird." Suddenly, everyone started noticing and talking about him. Raniero, a bit annoyed, said, "Dude, you don't need to say that," and internally wondered, what's happening to me? Am I happy? No way. Why would I be happy? He told himself honestly that he shouldn't be overthinking all this and should just enjoy his normal life. And honestly, the whole scene felt straight out of a South Indian movie. What do you guys think?
Then they all went out to hang out a little. Osami was singing, and man, he sang really well. Then Saku asked, "Renero, have you picked your song yet?" Renero said, "Yeah, bro, just give me 5 minutes." Osami got a score of 90 for his song and said, "Honestly, I could have done even better." Saku noticed Renero carefully and asked, "Hey, do you have a problem? Now, before, or ever? You can share with us." Saku already suspected Renero was hiding something. His head was injured, he was making a weird face, and he seemed lost in thought. Renero thought about how good it felt talking to Wagori, but if he told his friends, it would get awkward. So he decided to stay quiet and said, "Don't worry, guys, I'm fine." Everyone went back to enjoying themselves. They asked again, "So, have you picked your song?" Renero said, "Not yet." Osami immediately said, "Bro, I'll pick your song for you." Renero, a bit shocked, said, "Are you crazy?" Then apologized to Saku for making a weird face. Saku shrugged, "What can I do about you?" Renero made up his mind and said, "All right, fine, I'll sing." The next scene shows Renero arriving home and seeing the restaurant still open. He thought, "It's past closing time. Why is it still open?" As he stepped inside, he was literally shocked. Wagori was there, waiting. She welcomed him back. Renero asked, "Why are you here?" Wagori first apologized on behalf of her friends for the situation that morning. Renero said, "No need to apologize." Then his mom came in. "Ah, you're back, quite late. Do you know how long Wagori has been waiting?" She told Wagori to stay a little longer while she brought some cake. At that moment, Wagori's stomach growled. She was literally excited for the cake. Renero and his mom laughed. Wagori blushed and said, "Renero, don't laugh, it's embarrassing." Renero said, "Sorry," and asked, "Can we eat the cake together?" Wagori happily agreed, and they enjoyed the cake. Renero thought to himself how cute she looked while eating. Then Wagori asked, "Is your friend Osami okay?" Renero said, "Don't worry about Osami." Then he asked, "Why were you at the gate?" Wagori replied, "I was waiting for you there." Renero was shocked. Wagori apologized, and he said, "No need to apologize." Blushing, she said, "When I first met you, it felt nice talking to you." Renero thought honestly he had been scared. Renero had assumed Wagori would never meet him again. Wagori asked, "Why would that happen?" Renero explained, "You know how much fight and trouble there is between our schools. I thought since you're at Kyo High, you'd never come see me again." Wagori smiled and said, "Honestly, I was really happy when I found out you go to that school too." Then she got a little sad. "All right, it's late. I should go now." Renero was stunned by her reaction. As Wagori left, she said, "Honestly, it felt really nice knowing you, and thanks for the cake." Renero just stared at her face, barely listening to her words, trying to process what had happened. His mom came in and got scared because Renero looked like a total zombie. He explained everything to her, clearly flustered. Then his mom slapped him gently and asked, "Tell me, how do you feel when you're with her?" Renero thought and honestly said, "I feel really good spending time with her, but I don't want her to have any trouble because of me." His mind was racing with thoughts. Then suddenly, he punched his own face hard, and blood started coming from his nose. His mom was shocked. "Are you crazy? You shouldn't do that." Renero said, "You are right, I get it now," and thanked her. The next day, Renero waited for Wagori. When she arrived, she was surprised to see his face and asked, "What happened to your face?" Renero didn't answer, only said, "Please forgive me, I didn't mean to hurt you." Wagori replied, "You don't need to apologize. Actually, I should be the one saying sorry." She sat down and explained that she had left without saying anything last time, knowing Renero must have thought a lot afterward. That moment of conversation was so cute. Literally, the two of them looked adorable together. Renero thought about what would happen if his friends found out they were talking. Then he admitted, "Honestly, when I first saw you and talked to you, it felt really nice." Wagori smiled hearing that. She then told her name and said, "Your friends don't really matter to me. I want to know you." Renero was stunned. Later, Renero went to class, but his mind was still full of thoughts about Wagori. He realized she was right. What his friends thought didn't matter. He looked out the window, and on the other side, Wagori was also drawing the curtain. Their eyes met, and they both laughed. Renero thought, "Honestly, I want to know so much about her, and I feel like I'm becoming part of a world that was always distant for me." Inside the classroom, Renero and Osami were sweating because the AC wasn't working. Osami said, "Let's go to the staff room and turn the AC on." They headed toward the staff room. Osami suddenly got an idea and excitedly told Renero, "The sports festival is coming up this month. Why don't we participate and try to win? It'll be fun." When they reached the staff room, Suka-chan stopped them. "You two can't participate in the sports festival." Osami was shocked and asked, "Why?" Suka-chan explained, "Anyone who fails the midterm exam can't participate." Osami said, "Then passing will be tough for us." Suka-chan nodded, confirming they couldn't join if they failed. Osami said, "We'll work hard. At least there'll be a reward if we win, right?" Suka-chan thought for a moment and said, "If you win, I'll treat you to ice cream." Osami got happy but felt stressed later, realizing that passing the exam was necessary to win, and hearing about midterms made him anxious. Osami asked Saku for help, but Saku refused because last year, even with his help, they had failed. Osami got frustrated. So you don't want us to participate. Fine, we don't need your help." A debate started between Osami and Saku. Meanwhile, Renero received a message from his mom saying it was discount day and she wanted him to invite Wagori. After thinking, Renero invited her, but she declined, saying she was busy and couldn't come to the shop. Renero felt disappointed but wondered why. Osami said, "We should go to the library." He took Renero outside to the school library. After studying a bit, nothing made sense. Renero said, "Maybe we should ask Saku for help. He helped last year." Osami replied, "He did help last year, but we still failed, so it didn't feel useful." Renero explained that Saku wanted to help and was interested in the sports festival, but he just didn't want to admit it. Osami was a little surprised. "Are you really Renero?" he asked. Renero replied, "Does it matter? We just need to focus on winning." Osami went to convince Saku, saying, "I'm interested in the sports festival because you're there. I'll get him. Hurry." Renero stayed alone studying when two younger girls came in, unable to find seats. Renero gave up his seat, and the girls noticed and thanked him, but didn't get a proper chance to. As he left the library, he heard Vagori's voice. He saw her studying with a friend, completely relaxed. Renero noticed she was the top student in her class and was impressed. Walking outside, he thought about her. Wagori was truly amazing. And he thought, "I'm not even a topper at my public school, while Wagori is the top at Kyohai." He lay back on a bench, and when he opened his eyes, he saw Wagori standing right in front of him. Seeing Wagori, Renero was a little shocked. "I thought you were studying inside," he said. Wagori laughed. "I thought so too. It's been a while since we last met. When I was inside, I thought only you would pass by the glass." Renero moved a bit to the side and Wagori sat down. "You invited me, but I couldn't come on discount day. I wanted to apologize for that," she said. Renero smiled. "Why apologize? There's a discount day every month anyway." Wagori said, "Next month, I'll definitely come and save a little money from my part-time job." Renero, surprised, said, "Even though you're rich, you do a part-time job?" Wagori laughed. "Are you a little crazy? Actually, I got a scholarship at Kyohai, so I always need good grades. I'm always first in my class. When I started at Kyohai, I felt really proud of myself." Renero realized he had been judging her incorrectly, assuming she was just a rich girl. Thinking about how people often judge without knowing, he felt guilty. He asked Wagori, "Could you help me with my studies? If I fail my midterms, it'll be a problem. Only if you have time, of course." Wagori replied, "If I get time, I'll definitely tell you. Let's do our best together."
After a while, Wagori said she needed to go since her friend was probably returning from the shop. But her friend Subaru was watching Renero and Wagori and wondered who he was. Renero noticed her silver-colored hair and thought, is she a foreigner? She looks really cool. But as soon as Subaru noticed Renero, she got irritated and said, you seem to be from Chidori school. I'd appreciate it if you didn't go near Wagori. Wagori tried to calm her down. Then Renero's friends arrived. Seeing Renero with two girls from Kyohai, Osami and Saku got irritated. Osami said, what do you want with Renero? I don't think he'll talk himself. Subaru told Wagori, we should leave. Don't waste time with these wild people. But Osami approached Wagori. I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. Subaru told Osami to back off, and Renero also stopped him. Osami angrily said, Renero, what are you doing? I was just talking. Subaru left with Wagori. Saku said, did you forget so quickly the question we asked? High school girls aren't as smart as I thought. Subaru, irritated, replied, are you saying that? Saku said, you need to think, but you lack that. By the way, why is your hair like that? Is it allowed at Kyohai? You can do whatever you want since you're a rich girl. Subaru felt bad hearing this, but Renero stopped him. Saku, stop. You're crossing a line. You're not that kind of person. Saku went silent. Renero continued, this is the same girl who was standing at our school gate in the library. I apologized for scaring her and started talking. Then Ayato whispered in Osami's ear, you were the one who scared her that day. Osami stepped forward and apologized to Wagori. Wagori also apologized, feeling it was all because of her. She asked Subaru to apologize as well, but Subaru left and Wagori followed her. In the library, Subaru criticized the boys from Chidori school, but remembered Renero had stopped Saku, so she paused. She asked Wagori, what do you think about that blonde-haired boy? Wagori said, he's a really good person. Subaru didn't like that. At home, Renero studied, but Saku's explanations didn't make sense. Then Wagori called, and they talked about the events of the day and sorted everything out. Wagori said, Renero, what you did today was really cool. Thank you for protecting me. Renero blushed, and Wagori said, sorry, I've been talking a bit too casually with you lately. I'll be careful next time. Renero asked, why do you talk formally to me? Wagori blushed and said, because I'm just a customer at your shop. Talking too casually would feel weird. Hearing that, Renero felt bad, thinking he had pushed himself away. Then Wagori asked Renero to study together on Saturday. Renero agreed, but suddenly said, if it's not a problem, can you talk to me like I'm your friend? Wagori replied, okay, I'll remember. The conversation ended, and Renero thought, what did I just say? I feel so embarrassed. Wagori also felt a little nervous. Finally, the day came for Renero to study with Wagori. He sat on the train, heading to meet her, his heart pounding with nervousness. Looking outside, he thought, I've seen this view countless times, but why does it feel so different today? As soon as he exited the station, he saw Wagori. Sorry I'm a little late. Did it cause any trouble? He asked. Wagori smiled. No, I came a bit early. Renero thought, why does this girl always look so cute?
They first went to a cafe and had a meal. Wagori seemed happy while eating and said, I've always wanted to come here. It's a great place to study and the food is amazing. Renero thought, how did I forget how much she loves food? She always looks happiest while eating. After finishing, Wagori said, now let's study. Renero was excited about studying too. As they started, Wagori came close to explain something, and both suddenly moved back, blushing. Wagori apologized, and Renero said, it's okay. She started teaching, but Renero's heart was beating so fast that focusing was hard. After some time, Wagori asked, Renero, you said you don't want to fail this time, so why? Renero explained, after the midterms, the sports festival is coming. If I fail the midterms, I won't be able to participate. I want to take part with my friends. Wagori said, that's a great reason. Renero thought, she really has a kind heart. She never judges anyone and always appreciates people. Wagori added, from your words, it seems you really love your friends. Renero coughed, and she asked, are you okay? Renero said, yes, absolutely. Wagori said she also loved her friends, especially Subaru, who had been a close friend since childhood. People often misunderstood Subaru, but she was actually very kind. The last time Renero didn't judge Subaru, Wagori had been happy. They got back to studying. Renero's heart felt warm listening to Wagori. After finishing, Wagori stopped him and handed over a notebook with midterm notes. Renero was shocked. "You studied yourself and still did this for me?" Wagori said, "It's no big deal. I just wanted you to enjoy the festival with your friends." Before leaving, Renero thanked her again. Wagori smiled, wished him good luck, and laughed. Renero thought, "I can't fail this exam now. Wagori works so hard for me. I don't want her to feel bad because of me." As Renero walked to the train, someone grabbed his bag. Turning around, he saw it was Subaru. "Do you have a moment? I want to talk," she said. Surprised, Renero followed her to a cafe. They sat down and started drinking coffee. Renero thought, "It's been a while, but she hasn't said anything yet." Suddenly, Subaru asked, "Renero, are you Wagori's boyfriend?" Renero's hand spilled coffee, slightly burning him. He was completely shocked. Subaru quickly handed him a napkin. Renero thought, "Why is she acting so weird? Is something wrong?" Subaru then asked, "So, what's your relationship with Wagori?" Renero got a little confused, thinking, is she just a friend or just a customer? Subaru continued, "Have you only known Wagori for a short time?" Renero replied, "Yes, just a short while." Subaru said, "Then good. But I want you to stop meeting Wagori." Renero, surprised, asked, "Are you saying this because I'm from Chidori school?" Subaru said, "Yes, exactly." Renero explained that there's a big difference between our schools, but this is his personal matter with Wagori. No one should misunderstand. Subaru replied, "I understand what you're saying. You're a good person. That day outside the library, you supported us and caused no trouble." Still, she held resentment towards Chidori school and the boys. Seeing Renero with Wagori had panicked her, because if another boy had seen them, it could have caused trouble for Wagori. Renero asked, "Subaru, why do you care so much about Wagori?" Just then, a boy ran and fell near them. Subaru immediately helped him up. The boy complimented her, "Your hair is really beautiful," and went on with his mother. Subaru told Renero, "When I was little, Wagori protected me too. Ever since, she has been my hero." After saying all that, Subaru got a little emotional and pleaded with Renero, "Please stop meeting Wagori. I know how hard she works, and her happiness is the most important." Hearing this, Renero understood just how much Chidori and Kyo high schools hated each other, and how much Subaru cared for Wagori. But he remembered what Wagori had said. "I don't care about Chidori or Kyo high school. I just want to know you." Renero thought for a moment and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't do what you're asking." Subaru felt a little hurt and said, "I had a feeling you'd say that." Renero then left. On the way home, Renero tried to focus on studying, but after everything that happened today, he couldn't concentrate at all. He felt irritated, and some boys nearby thought he was upset because of them. But in reality, Renero was thinking about how kind-hearted Subaru was and how much she cared for others, something not everyone does. At the next station, two girls boarded the train. Two seats next to Renero were empty, but the girls hesitated to sit out of fear. Renero understood and left the seats for them. The girls recognized him and, teary-eyed, thanked him. Renero didn't remember who they were at first, and the girls reminded him that they had saved him a seat in the library. Renero asked, "Did you study well that day?" The girls, still a little shy, said yes, very well, and thanked him again. Renero smiled and thought, "That feels good," and moved forward in the train. The girls thought Renero was genuinely a good person. Renero stood surprised, thinking he hadn't expected them to thank him like that. Their behavior was sweet, but shy. He remembered how Wagori always thanked him for even the smallest things and thought how kind she was and how he shouldn't cause her any trouble. Subaru's words also echoed in his mind, making him feel a little sad and unsure of what to do next. A few days later, the midterm results came out. Teacher Sakuchin announced that Osami and Renero hadn't failed. The class cheered loudly. Now they would finally get to participate in the sports festival. Everyone praised Renero and Osami and gave credit to Saku for helping them. Renero checked his marks, 59. Overjoyed, he thought, I should tell Wagori. But then he remembered Subaru's words. Renero restrained himself and decided not to message Wagori. He felt a little upset, but knew it was the right thing to do. Just then, the others playfully dropped his bag. Saku picked up the bag and notebooks and noticed a note from Wagori inside, wishing Renero good luck. Saku was a little shocked and began asking Renero about Wagori.
Thank you for watching next part of 200 comment. Don't forget subscribe.